Here I am at a sixplex that we bought in 2020 on Ruggles in Florence, Arizona. So you see the 3 units right there. Let's go take a look over here. And you see the 3 units right here behind me, okay? So you have 1, 2, 3. And then in the back, you also have some storage units. So we bought this property for $315,000 at the beginning of 2020. And we put about $40,000 into repairing it. And after we were all said and done, the value came in at $725,000. My name is Shiloh Lundahl, and you are watching the Improved channel focused on real estate investing. So today I'm going to talk about how I made $370,000 on one property earlier this year. The reason that I share this video with you is not to brag and say,
hey, we're so awesome because we were able to create all of this value with this one property and earn a lot of money.
The reason that I am sharing this video with you is to help you understand that this is possible. It is possible to create about $370,000 within a 6-month period of time through creative real estate investing. So in the intro video, I showed a picture of this sixplex that we bought on a street called Ruggles down in Florence, Arizona. We found that property through a wholesaler. The wholesaler sent it out at $320,000. And we went in and we took a look at the property. It took us a few days to actually be able to get in and take a look at the property. But when we were finally able to get in, we noticed that 1 unit out of the 6 was completely torn apart. It looked like there had been a flood or some sort of other situation that happened. And so we called up the wholesaler to find out more about that. And he said that, yeah, there had been a flood. And so usually a property owner will have insurance on a property. And so he will be able to get some sort of insurance claim on a situation like this. So we asked them if the owner had filed an insurance claim and what was going on with that. The wholesaler in this situation was actually really not very helpful. And so because the wholesaler wasn't giving us any information, we had to go around the wholesaler and contact the actual seller. Through county records and through doing a little bit of research, we were able to find the seller's name and phone number. So we gave him a call and we talked with him a little bit about the property, and we asked him specifically about this 1 unit that had all of the damage in it. And he said that he had filed an insurance claim, that he was going to be getting an insurance check. And so we talked with him a little bit about that, and then he was going to then give us that $5,000 as a repair credit for that 1 unit. So it brought the total purchase from $320 down to $315. And we were really happy about that because we were able to talk with him and be able to have the insurance come in and help out with the payment of the repair for that 1 unit. So ultimately we got it for about $315,000. These units were being rented for about $500 to $550 a month, and they'd been rented like that for quite a while. And so on the outside, at the very beginning, right when we purchased this property, the units were kind of this dingy brown color. And so we wanted to spruce it up a little bit. And we wanted to paint it and do some minor repairs in the units and then increase the rents up to $750 a month, because that's what the market rent for the area goes for. After we had done some of the repairs in some of the units and we painted both buildings, we then increased the rent up to $750 a month. Some of the tenants decided to leave, others stayed and had their rent increase gradually up to that $750 mark. And when we were all finished with that, we then got it appraised. And the appraiser came out and he took a look at the buildings. He noticed that there had been some remodeling that had been done and that the outside had been painted. He did some market research to find out what the cap rates were in the area. And the cap rates at that point in time were about a 6%. And so when evaluating multifamily properties, it's really important to understand what cap rates mean. Basically, this is what a cap rate is. A cap rate is the amount that an investor is willing to receive on their investment. In other words, if I want to get 10% return on my money, then I want a cap rate of 10%, What that means is that if I were to buy this property fully in cash, if you take out all of the expenses it takes to manage the property, then I would like to get 10% return on my money every year. Now, because there's so many people that are putting money into these multifamily properties, a lot of times the cap rates start going down quite a bit. Because basically what that means is if I want a 10% cap rate and the guy next to me wants a 9% cap rate, he's willing to pay maybe $110,000 for a unit, whereas I'm only willing to pay $100,000. So he then puts in the offer and it gets accepted because it's higher than my offer. But wait, there's another guy over here and he's willing to get an 8% return on his money. And so he's willing to pay even more for the property. And that's kind of how it goes. It basically goes like this. Where the investors are willing to pay more for the property, they're willing to get less of a return for that property. And that's why the cap rates tend to go down. Because the value of the property, when it's bought at a higher amount, you're getting less of a return on your money. So this is how it works. The lower the cap rate, what that means is it means that you are willing to pay higher for that property. Now, what that means when it comes to you getting a loan on your property, if I'm able to buy a property where the units are being rented out for below market rent, and I'm able to go in and maybe fix up the property a little bit, what's called adding value to the property, and I'm able to attract people that are willing to pay a higher amount in rent for that property, what happens is now I'm getting paid more per unit. And the appraiser comes in and he looks at it and says, okay, well, you're getting paid $750 per unit. Well, I'm going to times that by 6. I'm then going to deduct all of the expenses it takes to manage the property. And then I'm going to do a calculation with the average cap rate in the area to tell you what an investor would be willing to buy this property for. And that amount is what the property is worth. Then you can take that amount and you can go to the bank, and the bank then says, okay, well, it looks like this property is worth $725,000 according to what the appraiser said, based on the comps in the area and based on a cap rate for that area. So that is how we were able to take this property that we bought at essentially $315,000. We put about $40,000 into the repairs and the painting and everything like that. So our all-in was about $355,000. And when you take our all-in and you deduct all the money that we had into the property, which was $355,000, you then get a total profit of $370,000. Now, there are things called holding costs and money costs, because we did have a hard money loan and a private money loan on this property. However, we still had tenants in the property. And so the tenants that were in the property that were paying the $550 a month, all of the rents that they were paying really went towards paying the private money and the hard money and all of the other expenses with that property. So just to keep it simple, we were able to increase the value of that property by $370,000. Now, the neat thing is we actually got a loan on that property afterwards. We get a loan from the bank for 70% of the $725,000 appraised value. So the bank was willing to lend us about $507,000, and we only had our $355,000 into the property. So after we were done refinancing the property and paying off the private money lender and the hard money lender, we were able to cash out about $175,000 on this property. Of course, we had to deduct what we had put into it and some of our down payment. But all in all, this was a fantastic property. We got a lot of money back. We were able to keep the property, and this property is cash flowing about $1,500 a month. So this is an example of the BRRRR strategy with a commercial multifamily 6-unit property. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.